Welcome to our video discussion series, Edu Talks, Tips and Tricks for Online Teaching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. And if you haven't done so, like us and follow us on social media. Today, I'm so excited. I invited Elizabeth Baldwin. She's an educator from San Diego, California, and she earned a Master's of Arts in Education. She taught learners of all ages and worked as an ESL instructor, curriculum developer, and a teacher trainer.
Hi, it's really great to be here with you today to share tips and tricks to teach online. So the key to teaching online is keeping students motivated, and all students need to be motivated, elementary, high school, and university, and adult. And motivation equals participation. So students need to be participating. So make sure that you are welcoming students by name straight from the get-go. This will encourage all students to be turning on their camera, unmuting their microphone. You could just do a simple, I see David, I see Maria. This allows you to immediately engage with your students as you would in person when they're walking into the room. Have opportunities to participate and interact within the first few minutes. You want to set the tone, set the expectation that when students come into your class, your online class, that they unmute their microphone, that they turn on their camera, that they participate. You want the opposite would be students come on in, they turn off their camera, they sit back, and they think they're just going to listen to you lecture for an hour. You don't want that. You need to have them participating so they're fully engaged from the get-go. Encourage students to take notes by hand. This will really keep your students actively engaged. It's very hard to watch a PowerPoint, listen to your instructor, and then type on a computer all at the same time. But you still want students taking notes. So encourage students to have notebook paper right at the ready, and maybe a pen or a pencil, and encourage them to be jotting down notes, right? Throughout your class, you can always have them take notes and then hold those notes up to the camera to show and tell. Or if it's an assignment, you can have students take a picture and email that to you. Now, when you are teaching online, you need to show and tell at the same time. That means that you need to prepare your class before your class. There is no there's no spontaneity. There's no spontaneous interaction in an online class. Everything has to be planned in advance. So I'm going to show you an example of a slideshow that I give for a high school lesson. Now, of course, this can be adapted or modified for elementary or for university. But I'm going to kind of give you an example of what I'm talking about. So here goes. So here is my introduction slide. We're going to be talking about space travel. So right from the get-go, I let students know what we're doing today, right? Here's the agenda, and then I give them a list of the things that they need. They need to have their textbook, they need to have a pen and pencil, and they need to have note paper. And then maybe if they need to, maybe I'll give them a minute to get up and make sure they have all those things. Or maybe I will ask them to show me in their camera that they have their textbook and their note paper. Okay, then of course, I need to give them instructions, clear instructions for everything I want them to do. So here I'm going to have them participate on chat. I'm going to have them do a chat wait. This is a great activity to gauge understanding, but also making everybody accountable for participation. A chat wait is when all students open up their chat box. You give them a question, they reply to the question in the chat box, but nobody presses enter. So you chat and then you wait. And then you give everybody a chance to enter in their answer. And then when you're ready, you maybe do a countdown 3, 2, 1, and then everybody presses the enter, and all of the responses populate in the chat box. And then everybody can see everybody else's answers. You as the instructor, you can see, okay, who's on the right track, who needs a little bit more help. So it's kind of like the equivalent of asking everybody, to answer a question. The great thing about the chat and wait is that the other students can't see their peers' answers. So everybody's response is individual and unique. So these are the instructions that I'm telling my students, and they can also read them at the same time. And then here is my chat wait question. What is your favorite space movie? So now everybody's going to open up their chat box. Everybody's going to type in the name of their favorite space movie. They're going to wait. And then when I say go, everybody's going to press enter, and then we're going to look at the list of all of the different favorite space movies. So everybody has participated within just a few minutes of the class starting. Okay, so this class, we're going to read a part of a text. So this is The Martian. So here we go. We're going to read it. Now, this can be very individual. You can have a choral reading where everybody gets a chance to read a part. This could be where maybe you as a teacher are reading and all of the students are following along in the book. So you can decide how you want to actually have the reading commence. So here is the reading. Here's 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 the reading. We're still reading. And this is actually a pretty short reading. So now we've done reading. Now we want to do the post-reading activities. So the first thing that we're going to do post-reading is we're going to do an activity together. So if you read on the screen, it says Mark needs a to-do list. Let's make one together. So you want to do something as a whole group, right? Because you need to model what you want your students to do later. So what should Mark do now? We're all going to make a list together. After we all make a list together, now Mark needs a to-do list. What should Mark do when he gets done, right? So notice how this is not something we're going to do together. This is something now I want you to do on your own. And maybe this is something that you're going to do on a piece of paper and you're going to show it to me, or maybe I'm going to have you put you into a group and you're going to do this with a partner. But we've all done it together, and now you're going to do it maybe by yourself or with a group. Now I'm going to have you do another activity where Mark has fixed his communication. I want you to write a conversation. And I've started the conversation for you. I want the conversation between Mark and NASA, and I've given an example. I've shown an example on my screen, and I've helped you get started. Now I want you to do another one where you're going to write a conversation between Mark and his parents. And again, I'm showing you an example, and I'm helping you get started with the first line of the conversation. Okay, now I want you to do another activity, right? I want you to create an Instagram post. And again, I'm showing you an example, and I'm helping you get started. So everything that you ask your students to do, you need to show them an example. They're not going to be able to just go on and do it. You need to really hold their hand and show them what you want to do, and then let them go create something for themselves.
Thank you very much. These are valuable tips. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. How did you enjoy the tips and tricks that Liz shared with us? If you did, you may comment below, you can share your wisdom, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can follow us on social media, and if you would like to share your tips and tricks on online teaching, you can send us an email or comment below, and I will be happy to interview you. Thank you for watching us.